I used to care so much about what other people thought of me that I was living in inferiority. I thought of myself as inferior to others. And basically, I let other people determine for me how I should feel about myself. But about 2.5 years ago, that all changed. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 powerful tips that allowed me to stop caring about other people's opinions and how you can as well. Make sure to stick with me to the end, especially tip number 3, which happens to be my favorite tip. It really changed the game for me. Welcome back to another video, guys. If you're new here, my name is Justin, and on this channel, I'm dedicated to bringing you the highest quality content when it comes to healing and self-transformation. So if you are on your personal growth journey, you've come to the right place. So let's get right into the video today, how I stopped caring about other people's opinions and how you can too. 3 powerful tips. Let's get into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is do not stop caring. And before you say, Justin, wait, that's the whole reason why I clicked on this video, let me explain. You see, I used to also think it was about not caring about what other people thought about me. And I used to be super insecure. I used to be insecure, and I used to think that as a guy, I shouldn't care so much about other people. What I figured out is that caring is not the problem. Caring is actually a superpower. It's a strength. It's a strength of mine. Most likely, if you're watching this video, it's also a superpower and a strength of yours. So caring is not the issue. What we actually want is freedom from not letting other people's opinions impact how we feel about ourselves. You see the difference here? Because one is about closing off and suppressing and closing off this natural tendency, which is to care about what other people think. And the other one is about allowing the freedom for other people to hold their own opinions, their own thoughts, and be their own way, but while being so secure within yourself that it doesn't really have an impact on how you feel about yourself. You want to allow people to have their own opinions while not letting that sway you from your center. That is what you are actually wanting. One way is disempowering, the other way is empowering. One way is about fear and insecurity, and the other one is about openness, love, and freedom. So I hope you're understanding the difference here, and this is how we set our foundation for tip number 1. But speaking of empowerment, let's move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is to empower yourself. We want to learn how to practice empowering ourselves. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in just a second. But again, if we want to build off this idea that we allow other people to be how they are, we allow people to have their own thoughts and opinions, but not let that impact how we feel about ourselves. The way we do that is by having a strong center, a strong foundation within ourselves. And how do we have a strong foundation and a strong center within ourselves? We have to learn to empower ourselves. And how we learn to empower ourselves is with 2 steps. These steps are very simple, not necessarily easy, but very simple. And the first step is let go of disempowerment. The second step is be your biggest fan. Have your own back. Be in your own corner. So let's talk about step 1, which is letting go of disempowerment. Now, the most effective technique that I know of that worked in my own personal life for letting go of negative emotions, and in this case, disempowerment, is the 3-step technique. How the 3-step technique works is, first, you want to be aware every time you're triggered, or in this case, every time you're feeling disempowerment. Make sure you are aware, because most of us are just running on autopilot and we don't even know. We're just reacting and just things are happening. And we're not conscious of when we're feeling different emotions. So step 1 is to breathe and observe. So every time you are feeling that very familiar feeling of disempowerment, just notice that that's what you're feeling and start breathing and just relaxing your body. The next step is to just watch the movie inside. That's what I like to call it. But basically, you want to watch your internal world. what is happening as you're feeling disempowerment. Watch your thoughts, watch your physiology. So what's happening to your body, maybe your chest is tightening up or your stomach is hurting or whatever. And also watch the emotions that are coming through. So watch where disempowerment affects you in your body and how it feels. And the last part of this 3-step technique is to fully release the pain. So in this case, fully release the disempowerment. And you do this by letting the emotional charge run its course. What that means is oftentimes when we feel an emotion that we don't want to feel, we do our very best to suppress it and stop it from happening. What I'm asking you to do here is allow it to happen. Basically just allow it to run out of steam. So allow the disempowerment to run through your body, do its thing, and don't get in its way, and just allow it to run out of steam until you feel it all coming up all the way and out of your body. So basically it's an energetic thing. You want to feel the energy come up and out of your body. If it helps, you can visualize this happening. If you want to visualize like some black smoke or something that's that has been trapped in your body that's now coming up and releasing. And you keep on doing this until the emotion of disempowerment is fully released. You can just breathe through this as well if that helps you. If you want a more detailed step-by-step guide for the 3-step technique, I have created a very nice, short, and to the point PDF guide on this. You can download it for free by just clicking on the link down below. I should have a link down there. You just put in your name and your email address and you'll get an email with the PDF. So again, if you want a more in-depth guide on how to do what I just talked about, I really recommend downloading that. Okay, so that is the first part, is letting go of disempowerment. Now, the second part is we want to start empowering ourselves. What you will notice is actually if you just do the work of letting go of disempowerment, that's like 80 or 90% of the work, really, because what happens is when we let go of what's getting in the way, our natural self, who you really are, is actually already very empowered, very worthy, very confident. So most of the work is just letting go of that negative feeling. So really take that first step very seriously. Place your emphasis on letting go of disempowerment every time you're feeling it. But how we start cultivating more empowerment on top of that is through positive self-talk. As I said earlier, it's really just about being your own biggest fan, being in your own corner, having your own back. So you want to start telling yourself these things so it becomes a natural state. You can start saying things like, I choose to empower myself. I choose to be my own biggest cheerleader. I choose to have my own back. I am choosing to feel good about myself already. I'm allowing other people to hold their own opinions and thoughts, and I'm allowing that to be okay because I already feel good about myself inside. So those are just a few examples of things you can say, but make it your own. Whatever feels good is a good indicator that's what you should be saying to yourself. So practice different affirmations or different sentences, and whatever feels best for you, stick to that. Guys, if you're liking this video so far, please take 2 seconds to support me by giving this video a thumbs up and hitting the subscribe button. Thank you so much, and let's move on to tip number 3. Okay, and tip number 3 is that people are unhealed. Now, if you've taken tips number 1 and 2 to heart, then you'll find that this third tip is icing on the cake. It's what's going to make this whole lesson nice and well-rounded. Now, what does it mean that people are unhealed? What I mean by this is understanding that most people in this world are unhealed and they're just living out their conditioning. What does that mean? It means that people are holding on to their negative belief systems, the trauma from their past, their unhealed wounds, and they're letting their lives be dictated from that place. They are just reacting to the world based on their conditioning. In simplest terms, hurt people hurt people. If you are full inside and you love yourself, you would never dream of hurting someone else on purpose, at least, and definitely not hurting other people for your own benefit. In fact, you want to do the opposite. You want to start helping others to do the same for yourself because it feels so good. The people who are out to cause you pain are just hurting inside, hurting more than you're probably hurting. And while no, it's never an excuse for people to act that way, nor should you play the victim, it helps you to not let their actions impact how you feel about yourself, because you know that those people are insecure or hurting inside or just have a lot of trauma that they have not processed, and they're just living out their conditioning unconsciously. Those people are unhealed, especially when these people are people that are important to us in our lives, like maybe our parents. We have to understand that they are also humans and they have dealt with stuff, and they're probably holding on to and harboring emotional pain. So when we know this, we can learn to have compassion for those people. And again, this doesn't mean being a victim. It doesn't mean dealing with things that you must deal with, but it can mean not allowing what they do or what they say have such an impact on how we feel about ourselves. I do want to make a point to say that this is not a judgment on those people. I'm not judging or looking down upon those people, because I was there actually not too long ago before I started my healing journey. It's simply an observation of the human experience. And so you can take it on like that as well. This is part of the human experience. You don't have to take it so seriously. You don't have to take what other people say so personally, because again, if they're doing something to intentionally hurt you, there is no other excuse, but those people are hurting inside. If they were full with love, they would never purposely hurt you. This is also how you can start making the distinction for yourself between people who are genuinely trying to help you and give you constructive feedback, and people who are just intentionally trying to hurt you for their own benefit, for them to feel better or higher themselves. So you have to look at their intention. What is their intention behind what they're doing? Is it to help you or is it to hurt you? And again, if it's to hurt you, find some compassion for those people. It doesn't mean you have to like them, but you can find compassion because you know they're hurting inside. And if it's to help you, then you can genuinely also be grateful for them as well. Guys, please take those 3 tips to heart. If you do, I guarantee you will see massive, massive changes in the way you feel about yourself and how you view the world, and you will just stop taking things so personally and experience really deep internal freedom. If you like this video, chances are you're also going to like this next video that's coming up here, so make sure to watch that one, especially if you are on your personal growth and healing journey. You've found the right place. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.